Did Glasnost's Western influence help collapse the USSR? Imagine a time when the Soviet Union was a giant fortress, tightly controlling what its citizens knew and saw. Then came Glasnost, meaning openness, a policy introduced by Mikhail Gorbachev in the mid-1980s. It aimed to make the government more transparent and allowed people to speak freely and access information that was once hidden. This change meant Soviet citizens could now hear about the country's past mistakes, economic struggles, and how Western countries enjoyed more freedoms. As restrictions on travel and communication eased, people in the Soviet Union and its republics started to see how life outside the communist system looked. They learned about Western democracy, capitalism, and better living standards. This exposure made many question the Soviet way of life and sparked nationalist movements in places like the Baltic states, Ukraine, and Georgia. These republics began demanding independence, challenging the authority of Moscow. At the same time, Glasnost was happening alongside Perestroika, Gorbachev's plan to reform the economy. He wanted to introduce some market ideas into the planned economy, but this caused instability. The economy worsened, shortages grew, and people became more dissatisfied. The Soviet Union was already under pressure from economic decline, and these reforms made things more uncertain. On the international stage, Glasnost helped ease Cold War tensions. The Soviet Union reduced its military commitments, signed arms control agreements, and withdrew troops from countries like Afghanistan and Eastern Europe. While these moves improved relations with the West, they also meant the Soviet Union was stepping back from its role as the leader of global communism. This weakened its influence over Eastern Europe and its satellite states. The openness also revealed systemic problems that had been hidden for decades. Citizens saw the corruption, inefficiency, and failures of the Soviet system. This led to increased anti-government sentiment and a desire for change. The nationalist movements gained strength, and the push for independence grew louder. These forces combined to fracture the unity of the Soviet Union, which was already struggling economically and politically. From a communist point of view, Glasnost was meant to strengthen socialism by making it more transparent. But in reality, it opened the door for Western ideas and criticism. The exposure to Western lifestyles and beliefs created a gap that many wanted to fill with independence and capitalism. This shift made it impossible for the Soviet Union to hold together as a single, unified communist state. In the end, Glasnost's Western influence played a big part in the collapse of the USSR. It revealed the flaws of the system, encouraged nationalist movements, and reduced the Soviet Union's global power. All these factors led to the dissolution of the Soviet Union by the end of 1991, ending an era of Cold War rivalry and communist rule.